Rutgers just beat the 10th ranked Indiana Hoosiers by stymieing their offense, and we're going to talk about that. But like I said in the last video, I'm using these videos as a way to kind of document where I'm at with prospect evaluation, understanding the game. And I'm really trying to learn more of an X's and O's basis of the game, rotations, actions, reads, the little things that have to happen in basketball and the responsibilities of each player on the court. So I'm using these videos to document that, and hopefully 6 months to a year down the line, I can see where I was at. But nonetheless, let's get into how Rutgers beats Indiana. And I think you start with a pretty big preface that Indiana was missing their 5-star lead guard in Jalen Hood-Schifino due to back spasms. But nonetheless, Rutgers' defense was very effective, and their defense has been so far this year. I'm going to put up their Bartorovic profile. They've got the 4th best adjusted defensive efficiency, 4th best defensive efficiency field goal percentage, pretty good on defensive turnover percentage as well. So defense is aggressive, they're athletic, they're versatile, and the rotations are great. And the game plan here was obviously try and do everything you can to take Trayce Jackson-Davis out of this game, the potential All-American. And you can see that when he puts the ball down on the floor, they're swarming him immediately, putting 3 guys on him. And when he catches the ball, he's got 5 pairs of eyes on him as well. So when he puts this ball on the floor, they converge quickly. And what I like about this is even though Indiana gets a second chance opportunity, they don't abandon that scheme of being aggressive. They don't just lose mental focus and have a lapse. Instead, they're still aggressive. And yes, Trayce Jackson-Davis is very open here, but for most college big men, when you have 3 people on you, this is a hard window to find. And they give up relatively wide open 3. And Miller Kopp did hit his fair share of those in this game, but that's the trade-off. We're not going to let the potential All-American beat us. We're going to make somebody else beat us, specifically jump shooters. We're going to see this scheme again here. When Trayce Jackson-Davis turns his head, number 22, I'm sorry, I don't know the players' names. I don't watch a ton of Rutgers basketball, but helps and doubles quickly and then gets his hand in for the steal. And I think actually Indiana ended up getting a foul on this play, but nonetheless, you're seeing the scheme. On this play, Jackson-Davis is going to cut along the baseline. He catches it pretty deep, but you see when he catches the ball, Rutgers is already converging. And this pass is open along the baseline, maybe just a half second too late, and the Rutgers defender gets his hand in, knocks the ball away. I wouldn't say they're necessarily risky, but they have no problem taking risks. And you're going to see 22 again here with an aggressive dig, rips the ball, leads to a run out, to easy 2 points. And then just in general, their defense is extended, aggressive, forces Indiana into a timeout here. I think Indiana actually used all of their timeouts by the 3-minute mark in the second half, which that stuff matters. I think this defensive possession is just really cool to watch, especially from a scramble aspect and their help rotations. So Cliff is going to hard hedge here. You see the tag coming in the middle to Jackson-Davis, and that tagger gets back out to the 3-point line to close out. And I think this is kind of what was also an issue for Indiana. Just side note on this possession, but Trayce Jackson-Davis catches it while Rutgers has just been in a scramble. And in order to keep that advantage going, you want to move the ball quickly. And granted, there's not a ton of places for him to go with it. Maybe just a quick spin-off move right when he catches it, or get something toward the rim, or kick out for a 3. But something quick to keep the Rutgers defense moving. But when you hold it like this, you allow them to get back into their scheme where they're able to double and run Jackson-Davis off the spot. And then any advantage that was created is no longer there. And like I said, I like this possession because it shows their rotations. That original tagger from the beginning of the possession who tagged Jackson-Davis in the middle out of the pick and roll is the same guy that helped down to double to run Jackson-Davis off the spot, and then just track him with me. He's going to sink down low on this dribble penetration to take away Jackson-Davis again. And then you live with this shot if you're Rutgers, a late contested 3-point shot. And Indiana's not anything special from 3 this year. Another point that I think was really killer for Indiana was Cliff, their big man, played, I think, like 3 minutes in the first half due to foul trouble. And Rutgers still dominated on the offensive glass. Like, that cannot happen for Indiana. Just no box outs, and it leads to free throws. Another thing that I like that Rutgers did was that they disguised their defense. I like when defenses do this. They disguise the defense until the ball's inbounded. You can even see that Xavier Johnson taken aback once Rutgers gets into this extended almost 2-1-2 or 1-3-1 look, and that throws off Indiana's whole set. But you also see that Rutgers stays true to that scheme of doubling Trace Jackson Davis when he gets the ball. He spins right into help, and it's a turnover. And then this is just more of a broader point to the Indiana offense. The spacing isn't necessarily conducive for dribble drives or penetration, because when you have a guy that's so landlocked to the paint, like Trace Jackson Davis, Cliff can just slide off and pass his man off and stop this dribble drive to where there's not very much penetration able to be had. And granted, Trace Jackson Davis does make a good drive here and a cool laydown pass, but again, leads to a turnover. Here's another example of that. In the NBA, obviously, this is a shot all day, but in college, not everyone can shoot or is confident enough to shoot. But when you have Trace Jackson Davis right here, it's hard to get dribble penetration because you're driving right into help. And then also, I think this shows the broader point of Rutgers defense is we're going to make jump shooters beat us in this game. They're going to go drop coverage for this pick and roll. And Tamar Bates is a pretty good eye test shooter off the bounce. I'm not sure what his percentages are, but he was a good shooter off the bounce in high school at IMG Academy. So he's going to rise up out of this drop coverage and just knock it down a tough shot over an outstretched arm. That's a tough shot. I mean, but you live with that for Rutgers. Like, we live with contested deep twos. If that's how they're going to beat us, that's how they're going to beat us. Analytically, it's not, a high value shot, but Tamar Bates knocks it down. So credit to him. Under-recruited freshman guard Derek Simpson was huge in this game as well. He had 14 points, some hustle plays, did some little things, and I thought his off-ball defense was good as well. You're going to see this first step here, the ability to plant, change directions, get good elevation on the jump shot. That's a tough shot. Here we get into that off-ball defense. He's going to stunt and recover, get back to his man in the corner, and then again, he's going to dig, and Xavier Johnson just dribbles right into that dig. It's an easy steal for him and a turnover for Indiana. This right here is partially due to scheme, but it's a good double from the perimeter and rips the ball from Trace Jackson Davis again. Another turnover for Indiana. I thought this defensive possession off the ball was just really good. You're going to see him follow Xavier Johnson through. He's going to blow up this dribble handoff before it can happen and then get back to his man. That right there throws off the whole set. And then we can fast forward. And when you get Trace Jackson Davis in the post and you're going to double, that means the weak side guy has to kind of play in this zone and play too. So because the low man has to take away number 25 or at least show some resistance there. He can't guard the guy in the corner completely. So that means that Simpson has kind of got two right now. He's got Xavier Johnson and he's got Miller Comp in the corner. And what he does is really smart. He just stays in the zone. He reads the eyes of Trace Jackson Davis. And what he does is he reads once Trace Jackson Davis leaves his feet. So what goes up must come down. And when Trace Jackson Davis leaves his feet, because he's not this manipulative, crazy passer, Simpson's able to read the passing lane, read where this is going, break on the ball with speed, and get his hand in to deflect the ball and knock it out of bounds. And then just doing the little things like I mentioned. Coming up with an offensive rebound here, gaining his team an extra possession. Obviously doesn't lead directly to points, but it's a winning effort, and that stuff, again, it matters. And he had the hot hand at one point in the second half, but I admired his ability to just make the simple read and the simple pass. Miller Kopp is going to be pretty committed at the nail here, and Simpson makes a good exit pass out to 22. Not leading directly to points, but it's winning stuff. Here he's going to pick up in transition, force an early pickup, and then read the eyes of the offensive player and get a hand in. He's only 6'2", I think, but he plays much bigger than that. Obviously far from a perfect game. I think his first step's pretty good, but early pickup here, and as a small guard, it's hard to cover that much space to the rim when you're picking the ball up right here, especially with Trace Jackson Davis looming as a shot blocker. But nonetheless, I think his tools as a closeout attacker and, like I mentioned, the first step are pretty impressive, able to get a paint touch pretty easily in this game. And that stuff really deforms defenses. Here, attack a closeout again, get into the paint. Whole defense is deformed. Is this the right decision to take this contested floater? Probably not. There's a passing lane here to his big on the block, but just a freshman going to learn these things. So I think that trait of being able to create an advantage like that can be something that the Rutgers coaching staff really hones. And that could be an effective piece for them offensively. But yeah, that is to me how Rutgers wins this game against Indiana. They held Indiana to like 48 points or something like that. Completely shut them down offensively. And I would have liked to see Jalen Hood-Schifino on this court just to center the Indiana offense, to calm them down and to be a commanding presence. Please leave your thoughts down below. If you enjoy these type of videos, let me know as well. And thank you for watching. I appreciate the support on the channel recently, and have a great day.